A speech and language delay is when a child isn't developing speech and language at an expected rate. It's a common developmental problem that affects as many as 10% of preschool children. So you might have seen some children at the age of 4 or 5 trying to express their views and ideas, but then they fail to make us understand. While children at the age of 5 years is expected to deliver a poem or a rhyme by its own. How do we get to know whether it is a speech delay? Watch out for the symptoms. If the child is not waving by or trying to use gestures by 12 months, that is 1 year. By 18 months, if the child prefers gestures over vocalizations to communicate. By 18 months, if the child has trouble imitating sounds or has trouble understanding simple verbal requests like, can you get me the mobile? Can you get me the remote? Etc. By 2 years, if the child can only imitate speech or actions and does not produce sounds or phrases spontaneously. By 2 years, it says the same sounds or words repeatedly and can't use the oral language to communicate more than their immediate needs. And again, by 2 years, if the child can't follow simple directions or has an unusual tone of voice, such as nasal sounding or raspy. Now, one thing the parents and the caregivers need to understand, children at the age of 2 will be able to achieve 50% of speech and 75% at the age of 3 years. Now, by the 4th year, the child should be able to talk to other people whom the child does not know. Now, this is why during the school admission interaction process, the child is expected to at least answer the basic questions like what's your name, what's your parents' name, etc. Now, what to do if your child or if you think the child has a concern in speech development. Again, please watch out for symptoms. Talk to your pediatrician. They will be able to tell you the exact reason for the concern. You can also talk to your child or you can take your child to a speech therapist who will check your child's speech and language skills. Now, the pathologist will do a standardized test and look for milestones in speech and language development. The speech language pathologist also will check what your child understands, which is called receptive language, what your child can say, which is called expressive language, sound development and clarity of speech, your child's oral motor status, how the mouth, the tongue, the palate, etc. work together for speech as well as eating and swallowing. Now, based on the test results, the speech language pathologist might recommend speech therapy for your child. If you find your child or any child whom you know faces such concerns, and if you think you have to visit a speech therapist or to ask them to go for visitation, please do, as it is a very important need or necessity to provide intervention to such children at a very early age to avoid further consequences as the child grows.